Hey, what's up everybody? Ryan McDonald standing outside of San Diego ComicCon 2010, where just in a few short hours it'll kick off and like 160,000 people over the next 4 days will be crammed into this place. GameSpot's got a booth inside, plus we've got this cool video that's going to show you a little bit of the preview stuff that you should expect to see over the next week. So without further ado, let's see what's going on with the video games inside.
This year's ComicCon is going to be really exciting because we're trying something new. We're doing an experiment. We've got a stage, and we're doing like a condensed version of some of the things that we did at E3 that everybody liked. So we're going to have a very small stage show that's going to run for 2 hours a day. We're going to have the backpack cam is back. We're going to do an hour a day on the ComicCon show floor where you guys can just tell us whatever you want us to do within reason. And then we're going to have Tonight on the Spot from some really cool events that we're not quite ready to tell you about yet.
For ComicCon, I'm looking forward, just the fact that it's ComicCon, when you go there, it's kind of the nerd's paradise of comics, sci-fi movies and things like that. So I'm kind of interested in the things that are, directly related to that.
I like to walk around the hall. And it's not just because some of the big snazzy booths that are getting snazzier and snazzier every year. It's because you walk down these, you walk a little past the big bright lights and you see these really cool artists and the graphic novels they're putting out or the art they're working on, and they're sitting right there. And you can talk to them and you can check out their stuff and you can hear other people talking to them, people who are maybe fans, and it's stuff you don't know about, but it's an awesome place to discover really cool new stuff.
So you got the Star Wars stuff, and in terms of games, that means The Force Unleashed 2. And then of course you've got Star Wars The Old Republic, BioWare and EA's MMO. And I'm really interested to see what they do with that game. Obviously they're making story a big part of it, more so than you would normally expect from an MMO. And they're going to have a panel, they're going to be talking about this stuff.
I'm actually moderating a panel on Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. So we're going to be able to unveil the fourth world to everybody that we've heard about but haven't seen. And we're going to have a bunch of great panelists, including Stan Lee on my panel, so that's always cool. I've moderated a couple times and I always get Stan on, it's cool.
Then of course you got Capcom. Capcom's, kind of got a big presence at Comic-Con. They kind of become the big gaming company at Comic-Con. And this year's no different. They got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is, a big deal for me. I love Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This game plays great, it looks great. Really interested to see if they show off any of the new characters that we have yet to see.
So, very excited to see Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's going to be there again, knowing Comic-Con and what people do at Comic-Con like I do, you can expect that there's going to be news about that game there, so that's pretty exciting.
Of course, Capcom's going to announce a brand new game. We don't know what it is yet, but when they bring Inafune in to do these announcements, kind of expect it to be a really big deal. And Capcom's always got some great stuff there. They always have a really good showing, and they have some of the best swag of any video game company there.
It's always fun to go. It's always fun to see not only just people that really appreciate the stuff. There really is nothing quite like going to a convention where everybody's really into it and there isn't any kind of the weird artifice that you get sometimes at a trade show where everybody's there on business. It's a mix, right? You got some people there on business, but you really just have people there just out of sheer love for just the whole medium. So that's really cool.
I'm not the only one.
Hi everyone, my name is Thomas Wilson. I'm the creative director of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. You'll finally get your hands on the game before it comes out, which is going to be great. You can check out our panel on Friday at 4:30 if you want to hear more about the game. And for those not attending, check out Today on the Spot on Thursday.
Well, as you look at some of the video game action you're going to be seeing, plus, be sure to keep it here at GameSpot because we got tons more. Right now, we're going to kick it off and look at some of the movie action going around here. Without even being on the show floor yet, you can actually see on some of the buildings around San Diego, they got these huge giant banners out in front. One for Scott Pilgrim, one for Skyline. But either way, needless to say, this is the place to check out all the movie preview stuff, and we're going to check it out right now.
The way Comic-Con's grown over the years, it's kind of come to encompass kind of a lot of the stuff that's important to kind of our crowd. So on top of games and comics and toys, there's also TV and movies, but within a specific genre, right? So you can imagine, again, Comic Geek, so it's going to be Smallville's last year there. They're going to truck out everybody for the big, hey, this is how it's going to wrap up. So I'm actually pretty excited to see that panel. It goes without saying, that I want to be at the Futurama panel. I was one of the petition signers when it went off the air, and I was really happy to see it come back. And I've been watching it since it's been back, and it's a lot of fun, and it's almost back to true form, so that's awesome. And that voice cast, when they get on the stage, is totally awesome. Then there's stuff like going into movies. They got Scott Pilgrim there. They're going to have the cast. Edgar Wright's going to be there. Huge fan of his, and he does good stuff. So I totally trust that Scott Pilgrim is going to be done right, and so he's a lot of fun on panels. So he's going to be there with, I think, most of the cast. So that's going to be a blast. And of course, Tron Legacy. Again, as somebody of a certain age, Tron means many things to me. Super excited to see the sequel. Most of the cast is going to be there. I think they even got Jeff Bridges, which is kind of awesome. So that'll be really cool. And then, I'm sure Mac is going to be totally excited about the Expendables, because if they do get most of that cast on a stage, people's heads are going to explode. So that'll be really cool too. So you can probably expect they're going to drop some nuggets about the new Spider-Man movie with the dude that they just recast. And what is the other one? They're going to have to drop somebody, they're going to throw somebody a bone about Batman, right? Because everything says it's coming out in the next year and a half, 2 years. So they got to get people excited about that. So there's just a ton of stuff.
Hey, welcome to ComicCon. Stop by the CBS booth.
There's a look at the movie action. Up next, we'll be checking out some comic book stuff. Ricardo Torres, our resident expert, sat us down and told us what we should be expecting and excited for coming out of ComicCon 2010. Here's a look.
Every Comic-Con, the two big houses, right? DC and Marvel are there, and they're showing off their latest stuff. So DC is going to be there, and they're going to be leaning in pretty heavily onto the Brightest Day stuff. So if you don't read comics, it's been this massive story arc that's gone on for a couple years in Green Lantern. It's been pretty awesome. And, it kind of came to a close with Blackest Night, and then they launched into this new chapter called Brightest Day that's just kicking off. And it's really cool because it's all about hope and everybody kind of coming back from the dead, which is interesting. And, on kind of my sub-comic geek side, there's also going to be great toys. So DC Comics has been really good about their toy line called DC Direct. They also do the Warcraft stuff. And so it is a little bit like a Christmas for me when I go there because, A, there's a ton of stuff you can buy, not necessarily from DC, but everywhere. But what's cool about DC is that you see prototypes for most of the cool stuff that's coming out the rest of this year and early next. I mean, a couple of years ago, I got a lot of that stuff. So if you look in my office, I have a Green Lantern power battery that lights up. I have a Kryptonite display. I have Green Lantern. I have all the Lantern Core ring displays. So yeah, I'm probably going to see a bunch of stuff I'm going to buy. But so DC is going to have a good mix of comics and toys, and of course DC Universe Online will be there, and it'll be huge, and they've got a panel for that too. Marvel, they're leaning in obviously on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which I think everybody is super excited about. It's exactly what we wanted, and it looks, I think, better than we expected, so that's awesome already. But on top of that, don't forget, we've got the Thor movie and the Thor game coming from Sega, and then you've got the Avengers movie for sure, just to name some of that stuff. And then for Marvel Comics, it's more about the Heroic Age. So if you've been following the books, basically, this huge arc that started in Civil War, it's had its ups and its downs of things were looking pretty good for the heroes, things were looking bad, but now they've kind of wrapped everything up, and they're going into this phase called the Heroic Age. Comic-Con's always good because you buy a bunch of stuff for yourself. You kind of tap out for the rest of the year. It's definitely one of those cons where you bring a suitcase within a suitcase. One's empty, one's full. Otherwise, it just gets really awkward. I think one of my years, it's bad, but I'll admit it. One of the years I was there, I bought so much, I had to run to the FedEx that's in the convention center, conveniently placed, and I FedExed a bunch of stuff to myself. Not going to say what, because it's embarrassing now, but it totally made sense as a viable purchase at the time.
Hey, I'm Donnie Wahlberg.
I'm Will Estes.
From CBS News show, Blue Bloods.
Welcome to ComicCon.
So one of the biggest categories here at ComicCon is all the stuff about the new TV shows that are going to be coming out. Of course, Walking Dead and a few other ones are some of the biggest highlights that we've seen so far. Jen Trulio from TVcom, we sat down with her to get the latest scoop on all the cool things that she's expecting to see here at ComicCon. Let's take a look.
I'm Jen Trulio. I'm a senior editor at TV.com.
It's going to be 4 days of insane parties, panels, exhaustion, heat waves, but a lot of fun. There are a ton, new and old shows. Walking Dead is going to be huge. That's AMC's new one, and if you've seen any of the promotional stills, the zombies look awesome. Other new shows that are going to be there are Terra Nova, which is this like prehistoric Land of the Lost meets sci-fi sort of thing from Fox. Steven Spielberg is heading up that one. Undercovers, which is J.J. Abrams' new show. Undercovers is like this kind of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like sexy spy sort of thing. So it's, you know, lots of sex, lots of lots of spying, I think. And it's J.J. Abrams, so, you know, best of all worlds. No Ordinary Family, which is Michael Chiklis and Julie Benz on a new, like, it's kind of The Incredibles live action. We're gonna be attending as many panels as we can possibly get into. We're gonna be interviewing actors, gonna be talking to people from Dexter, from V, from Chuck, from Fringe, from Psych. There's a Glee panel this year. Futurama's gonna be there, as always. There's gonna be a Lost goodbye. The Lost podcast guys are gonna bid farewell to the show. Even Family Guy is screening some new and unseen footage from their latest like Star Wars parodies. It's a lot of panels, but the really cool thing about it is that it really lets the fans kind of get at the actor. But not only are the actors there, but like the executive producers, the wardrobe people, the writers, the set crew. I mean, the cool thing is fans are rubbing elbows with the people who are creating the stuff they really like. We're going to be taping as many panels as they'll let us tape and posting highlights and full panels when we can. Videos from the floor, talking to the fans, you know, surveying the best costumes, getting people on the street, seeing what people think of the new shows, the new footage, and pretty much everything we can bring to you. We're also going to be revealing the winners of our TVcom Now Awards. We're throwing a huge bash on Friday. A lot of celebrities are going to be there. And the fan categories, the winners of those are live on the site now, but the 10 main categories will be revealed on the Friday night event at ComicCon. If you stop by the booth, we'll be giving away a lot of tickets there. We'll be doing a lot of trivia, doing a ton of giveaways, but that's I think the best place to try your hand at getting tickets to the show. So yeah, we're going to be bringing you live tweets and live blogging from a lot of the panels. We're going to be talking to the talent. It's going to be a big party.
Hi, welcome to Comic-Con. My name is Grace Park from Hawaii 5-0. Make sure you stop by the CBS booth.
Included underneath the roof of awesomeness here at Comic-Con is, of course, all the rad toys and merchandise and everything that you can get. Unlike E3 and a few of the conventions that we go to, this is a place you actually can buy stuff. So you see a cool Transformer or something like that, you can totally get it. Here's a look at some of the cool toys and merchandise to expect here at Comic-Con 2010.
My name's Sonia M. I do public relations at Square Enix. The cool thing about what we have at our booth is, like, obviously we make games and that's there, but then we also have our merchandise there, and the merchandise is, you know, everything from action figures to, you know, little cute figurines, and then jewelry like what I'm wearing right now. And then also we have manga there. So it's just, there's so much that you can experience at our booth that's beyond just, you know, a comic book or a video game or a toy or something like that. We'll have Front Mission Evolved playable, and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep will also be playable. That will be the first time that the public can access it. Both of the titles are coming out in September, so I think it'll be a good chance for people to check it out before they release. We're also doing a demo of our digital manga that'll be available. It'll have Full Metal Alchemist and Soul Eater, and those are pretty popular. We also have some special guests, and we can't tell you what they are, but you really should come by our booth. It's really cool. I actually fangirled out about it. We'll have a desk over there, or a counter for Square Enix members, and we'll have gifts there for existing members and as well as members who sign up for our member site. Well, we are going to have a special edition at Comic-Con, which is only available at places like TGS or Comic-Con, so you can't buy it at an e-tail or a retailer, and it'll be a Solid Snake figure. We'll also be creating Halo figures. People sometimes think they should wait till the last day, but a lot of things sell out generally on the first or second day, so they shouldn't wait for certain items. So this is from our Play Arts collection, and this is a Solid Snake, obviously. It's highly detailed, has 26 points of articulation. I think this is something fans will really, really like. We have Devil May Cry figures. This one here is Dante, and this one's the Nero. They both have 24 points of articulation, and like all of our figures have really, really just a lot of detail put into it, and they put a lot of effort to try to make them represent what you see in the game. So here we have the Keyblade keychains, and these are based off of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. There's one for each of the 3 main characters. So this one here is for Terra, this one's for Ventus, the center one, and this one's for Aqua. So if you're going to be at Comic-Con, please come visit us. We'll be at booth 3829, and we'll actually all be there. So come by and say hi. And if you aren't going to be there, I definitely keep an eye on GameSpot, since there's a high possibility these will be given away at their stage show at Comic-Con. So hopefully we'll see you there, or good luck.
So there's your preview of Comic-Con 2010. I can't tell you how excited we are. This thing's probably kicking off right now as you're watching this. Join us for the next week and weekend. We're going to be bringing you all the latest from here. I'll be seeing you guys. Take it easy.